Look, guys, it ain't about being right. Even though I was in the last video that I made 2 days ago about this thing, we need to look at the context. This is one thing that the TikTok generation is not doing nowadays. So we have the guy himself coming out to set the record straight. You're welcome. And of course, what we're talking about now is the Power Rangers thing, which of course doesn't get much traction because anytime you talk about race in a YouTube video, nobody wants to really promote it or anything like that. But they want to promote it on the big trades. They want to promote it on the big sites, even though it's a load of absolute horse crap. Well, guess who came out to set the record straight? It was Walter Emmanuel Jones, the original Black Ranger himself. And this is something that I said in the last video, but let's just let him speak for himself while we go into this article. By the way, hit the sub button. Now, a lot of this is going to be a rehash of my last video, but we have someone else that's coming here to basically back me up. Black Power Ranger controversy ignites Hollywood media spin, but the original actor isn't having it. And that was one of my questions. I was like, I don't think he really meant, you could take it out of context. I don't really think he meant it that way because we as kids weren't thinking about it. I don't think them as actors and young adults were thinking about it that way at all. Plus, I pointed out other things why it wouldn't make sense to try to make this into a race issue. But the mainstream media has once again latched onto a retro TV moment and turned it into something it was never meant to be. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, 30 years ago. Specifically, the casting decisions made. According to headlines making the rounds this week, the show's head writer, Tony Oliver, confessed that it was a mistake to cast a black actor as the Black Ranger and an Asian actress as the Yellow Ranger. Even though I said it before, she was not the first casting choice for the Yellow Ranger. So this really, this reeks. This just seeps out of the asshole that Hollywood has fucked this guy over. And his brain is completely muddled by social justice warrior stuff that is overtaking the culture and the zeitgeist for the last 15, 16. Golly, are we coming up on 20 years by this point? Whenever he said it was a mistake to cast a black actor. Now, they also try to throw Walter Emmanuel Jones under the bus from some of the comments during a documentary that came out. And this is why I said with the Aaron Carter documentary, with all kinds of documentaries, they choose a slant. There will always be a slant. Do not take this as certain fact. And Oliver tried to come out and say, it's like, none of us were thinking about it at the time, but he had a Flock of Seagulls haircut, lesbian dyke bitch that was his assistant. And that's the person that basically pointed it out. That's a little bit stereotypical. What's stereotypical about it? The fact that we're making this awesome ass show that kids are going to love, at least we hope kids love, and it became like a giant thing. And all the kids wanted the Black Rangers axe whenever the toys came out. The toys sold like hotcakes. Did he sell less toys than anybody else? No. Did anybody care that it was black? No. At that point, we were all living in harmony. They made it into this over the years, and now you're looking back in retrospect. It's like, maybe we should have done that. Maybe you shouldn't have hired the black actor for whatever reason. Why? I don't know. Doesn't seem culturally appropriate nowadays. We didn't give a fuck as kids. It was such a mistake. He goes on to say this. Well, Walter Emmanuel Johnson has come out and he's just like, you know what? I'm going to address this. And this is him right here. Incredible how many media outlets pick this up. However, while some choose to seek out the negative, I've always believed in focusing on the positive. I understand the impulse to address what might be seen as cultural insensitivity. But calling it a mistake would dismiss the impact it had on countless people around the world who found inspiration and representation in TV's first black superhero, morphing into none other than the Black Power Ranger. It wasn't a mistake. It was a milestone. It was an honor. And this is exactly what I said in the first video. I was like, no, I think he was just joking around on set because they brought in like 5 to 6 people. I mean, the Green Ranger wasn't there at first before he became the White Ranger, but it was just the original 5. They were all young actors, no names, that were coming in to do this kind of TV show. They were all having a great time. And yes, the fact that someone was black, well, okay, when did this come out? What, 1993? Hold on. What else was extremely popular in the 90s? Some of the most popular sitcoms of all time. You were talking about Family Matters? We're talking about Hanging with Mr. Cooper? We're talking about Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Just the fact that there was a black person on the TV screen, nobody gave a fuck. Everyone seems to give a fuck nowadays because they want to be the first. Jennifer Lawrence was the first in everything. She was the first to take it up the ass. That's okay. It was an honor, I guess, for her. But the thing is that they keep trying to put put words in the mouths of these people and take things out of context, and people fall for it. There's always context to everything. Context is key, and that is how you have to do. That's how you have to deal with everything that is coming out nowadays. Even the guy himself has felt like he feels compelled to come out and be like, nope, didn't mean it like that. Definitely did not mean it like that. You might have caught me on camera saying it, but you might have also noticed that I was joking and smiling and laughing, and I never once besmirched the series. I never once bitched about the opportunity that I had, that I took part in. Anyway, sorry, another video about racism, but apparently it's still prevalent. We can't just get the fuck over it. Now we have to keep dredging things up that are nothing burgers. They don't even exist. They never existed in the first place. We have to turn things and twist them for our own political ideals. Apparently, we're here to call that shit out. This is Multi from Alpha Multi. Y'all have a great day. Take care. We'll see you later. Bye. 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 Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Black people like chicken.